One word, and you are dead." The voice came low and cold from the shadows of the cell. Marcus Chen froze at the doorway, his prison blues still stiff and new. The overhead light flickered, casting broken shadows across concrete walls. In the corner bunk, a figure sat motionless, face hidden in darkness. Only his hands were visible, scarred knuckles resting on his knees, the kind of hands that had ended lives without hesitation. Marcus felt his throat tighten. This was protective custody. He was supposed to be safe here, away from the gangs, away from the contracts, away from everything he had run from. The guard had already locked the door behind him. The metallic clang still echoed in his ears. He was alone with whoever this was. "I'm not here to cause problems," Marcus said carefully, setting his thin mattress on the empty bunk. His voice sounded weak even to himself. The figure in the shadows did not move. "You already caused them. Years ago." The way he said it, calm and certain, made Marcus' blood run cold. That voice, he knew that voice. It haunted him in dreams, in the space between sleep and waking. In every moment, he thought he had finally escaped his past. The man leaned forward into the dim light. His face emerged slowly, like a ghost taking form. A jagged scar ran from his left eyebrow down to his jaw. His eyes were dark, empty of everything except recognition. And something worse, patience. Marcus took a step back until his spine hit the cell bars. No, it cannot be. The man stood up slowly, joints cracking in the silence. But it is. "Hello, Marcus. Been waiting 5 years for this moment. Before you find out what Marcus did and who this man really is, subscribe, leave your like, and comment what country you are listening from. I love knowing. Now stay until the end, because what happens next is more than revenge. It is a reckoning that will force both men to face the truth they have been running from." The silence in the cell felt heavier than the concrete walls. Marcus pressed against the bars, his mind racing through possibilities, through exits that did not exist. The man stood there, watching him with the stillness of a predator that had already caught its prey. "Vincent Kade." Marcus whispered the name like a curse. "They told me you were dead." Vincent tilted his head slightly. "They told you what you wanted to hear, what you paid to hear." His voice carried no anger, no heat. That made it worse. Anger could be reasoned with. This was something colder. "I had no choice," Marcus said, hating how desperate he sounded. "Dante would have killed my family. Your family." Vincent stepped closer. Marcus could see the details now, the prison tattoos that had not been there before, the way Vincent moved, slower than he used to, favoring his left side. "What about my family, Marcus? What about my daughter, who grew up thinking her father abandoned her? What about my wife, who buried an empty casket?" Marcus felt the words like physical blows. "I thought Dante would just force you out, make you disappear." "I did not know he would." "Would what?" "Stage my death. Frame me for the Castellano hit. Make sure every family in the city wanted me dead." Vincent was close now, close enough that Marcus could smell the prison soap, see the silver threading through his dark hair. "You knew exactly what Dante was, Marcus. You were his accountant, his cleaner, his right hand. You knew what happened to people who became inconvenient." The overhead light flickered again. In the distance, someone screamed, the sound echoing through the cell block before being cut off abruptly. Marcus swallowed hard. "So what now? You kill me in here. Make it look like an accident." Vincent studied him for a long moment. "If I wanted you dead, you would have stopped breathing the second you walked through that door." Marcus blinked. "Then what do you want?" "The truth." Vincent stepped back, returning to his bunk. And maybe, if you are lucky, a chance to fix what you broke. Marcus slowly sat down on his own bunk, his legs shaking. Fix it. How? Dante runs half the city now. He has judges, cops, wardens in his pocket. He is untouchable. Vincent smiled, but there was no warmth in it. Nothing is untouchable, Marcus. I spent 5 years learning that. Building something Dante does not know exists. A network. People he betrayed, people he underestimated, people who want to see him fall as much as we do. We, Marcus repeated. You think I am going to help you? I think you checked into protective custody because Dante finally decided you know too much. Vincent leaned forward, elbows on his knees. I think you have been keeping records, insurance, evidence, and I think you know that the only way you survive is if Dante goes down first. The two men stared at each other across the narrow cell. Outside, the prison yard erupted with shouts, the sound of a fight breaking out. Neither of them looked away. You are right, Marcus finally said. I have records, everything, locations, transactions, names, bodies. Enough to bury him forever. Where? Vincent asked. Somewhere even Dante has not thought to look. Marcus paused. But I need something from you first. What? Vincent's voice was flat. I need to know my family is protected. If we do this, if we go after Dante, he will come for them first. He always does. Vincent was quiet for a moment. Then he reached under his thin mattress and pulled out a small, worn photograph. He held it up. A young girl, maybe 8 years old, smiling at the camera. My daughter, Vincent said quietly. She is 16 now. I have not seen her since she was 11. But I have been protecting her this whole time, even from inside these walls. He tucked the photograph away. Your family has been safe for the last 3 months, Marcus, since the day I learned you were coming here. Marcus' eyes widened. How? Vincent stood and walked to the small window, looking out at the razor wire and guard towers. Because despite everything you did to me, I am not Dante. I do not punish the innocent for the sins of the guilty. He turned back. But understand this, you owe me a debt written in blood and time, and we are going to collect it together from the man who destroyed us both. A bell rang somewhere in the distance. Count time. Footsteps approached down the corridor. Vincent returned to his bunk, lying down as if nothing had happened. Marcus sat frozen, processing everything. The guard passed by, shining his flashlight through the bars, then moved on. In the darkness, Vincent spoke one more time. Get some sleep, Marcus. Tomorrow we start planning, and tomorrow night we get our first visitor. Someone Dante thinks is loyal to him, someone who has been waiting for a chance to switch sides. Marcus lay back on his bunk, staring at the ceiling. For the first time in months he felt something other than fear. It was not hope exactly. It was something sharper, purpose, and the knowledge that the war was just beginning. But what Marcus did not know was that Vincent had not told him everything. The visitor coming tomorrow was not just any insider. It was someone from Marcus' own past, someone who had their own reasons for wanting both men dead. The morning came with the harsh clang of cell doors and shouted orders. Marcus had barely slept, his mind replaying every decision that had led him here. Vincent was already awake, sitting on his bunk doing slow, deliberate push-ups, despite the injury Marcus had noticed. 53, 54, 55. Vincent counted under his breath. His body was lean, hardened by years of survival. This was not the same man Marcus had known. That Vincent had been smooth, calculated, a fixer who solved problems with a phone call and a briefcase full of cash. This Vincent had learned different skills. "How long have you been planning this?" Marcus asked. Vincent finished his set and stood, breathing steadily. "Since the day I woke up in a prison hospital with a new name and a murder charge. Since the day I realized Dante had not just betrayed me, he had erased me." He moved to the small metal sink and splashed water on his face. "Took me 2 years to figure out who was really responsible. Another year to get transferred here, and 2 more years to build what I needed on the outside." Marcus sat up. "You have people on the outside." Vincent dried his face with his shirt. "I have ghosts, Marcus. People Dante thinks are dead or broken. People who owe him pain." He looked directly at Marcus. "And now I have you, the one man who knows where all the bodies are buried, because you helped bury them." The weight of that truth settled between them. Marcus had spent 5 years pretending he was just a businessman, just an accountant, just someone following orders. But he had done more than count money. He had cleaned crime scenes. He had falsified records. He had made people disappear on paper so Dante could make them disappear in reality. "Vincent," Marcus started, but stopped. He did not know what absolution looked like anymore. "Save it," Vincent said. "We are past apologies. The only thing that matters now is whether you are ready to see this through. Because once we start, there is no protective custody deep enough, no deal good enough, no witness protection far enough. Dante will come for both of us with everything he has." "I know," Marcus said. "That is why I am here. I knew he was going to kill me. I just wanted to choose the battlefield." Vincent smiled, a real smile this time, sharp and dangerous. "Good. Then you're finally thinking like someone who wants to survive instead of someone who just wants to hide." Footsteps approached in the corridor, multiple sets, moving with purpose. Vincent tensed slightly, his body language shifting. He glanced at Marcus. "Our visitor is early." The cell door opened. A guard stood there, one Marcus had not seen before. Older, with gray at his temples and eyes that had seen too much. Behind him stood a woman in a business suit, carrying a leather briefcase. She was in her 30s, dark hair pulled back, face carefully neutral. But when her eyes met Marcus, something flashed there, recognition and rage. "Marcus Chen," she said, her voice professional and cold. "I am your new attorney. We need to talk." She stepped into the cell. The guard closed the door behind her, but did not lock it, against protocol. Marcus realized then that this guard was part of Vincent's network. The woman set her briefcase down and looked at Vincent. "Mr. Kade?" Vincent nodded. "Counselor." She turned back to Marcus. Her hand moved to her briefcase, and for a moment Marcus thought she was reaching for a weapon. Instead, she pulled out a folder. "Do you remember me, Marcus?" He studied her face, searching his memory. Something familiar in the shape of her eyes, the set of her jaw. "I'm sorry, I do not." She smiled, bitter and cold. "No, I suppose you would not. I was 12 when you came to my house with Dante, when you helped him convince my father to take a deal, when you watched Dante put a bullet in my father's head anyway and told my mother it was a suicide." Marcus felt the blood drain from his face. "Isabella Romero," she nodded slowly. "My father was Antonio Romero. He ran the docks before Dante took over. You remember now." Marcus did. He remembered a small house in Queens, a man begging for his family. A shot that rang out while Marcus stood in the hallway, holding an envelope of cash that was supposed to save a life, but had just been used to end one. "I remember," Marcus whispered. Isabella opened the folder. Inside were photographs, documents, recordings. 5 years of evidence against Dante Mora, except I could never use any of it because the one witness who could corroborate everything, the one man who was there for all of it, was you. And you disappeared. Vincent stood. Until now. Isabella looked at him, then back at Marcus. I have spent my entire adult life becoming someone Dante would trust. Went to law school, joined his legal team, smiled at his parties, all while waiting for one thing. She leaned forward. You. Marcus understood then. This was not just Vincent's plan. This was a convergence. Multiple people, multiple vendettas, all aimed at the same target. And he was the key that would unlock all of it. What do you need from me? Marcus asked. Everything, Isabella said. Every location, every name, every transaction. And then you're going to testify. In open court. On record. No deals, no immunity, no protection. You're going to stand up and tell the truth about what Dante Mora is. Marcus looked at Vincent. And if I do this? If I survive this? Vincent met his eyes. Then maybe you earn the right to sleep at night again. The cell was silent, except for the distant sounds of the prison. Marcus thought about his family, about the daughter he had not seen in months, about the wife who had looked at him with fear instead of love the last time they spoke. He thought about Antonio Romero begging for his life while Marcus stood silent. I will do it, Marcus said, but I need something first. Isabella crossed her arms. You are not in a position to negotiate. I need to see my daughter, Marcus said. One time. Let me explain to her why I did this, why I have to do this. Let me tell her I love her before Dante finds out, and it is too late. Vincent and Isabella exchanged a look. After a moment, Vincent nodded. We can arrange it. One visit, supervised. And then we move. Marcus felt something break loose in his chest. Relief or terror, he could not tell. When? Tonight, Vincent said. There is a chaplain who owes me. He will bring her during evening services. You will have 20 minutes. Isabella closed her briefcase. I will return tomorrow with the paperwork. We will go through everything you know, build the case, and in 3 weeks we will have enough to move. She knocked on the door. The guard opened it immediately. Isabella stepped out, then paused. Mr. Chen. Marcus looked up. She met his eyes. My father's name was Antonio. When you testify, say his name. Say all their names. Every person Dante killed while you watched. Then maybe, when this is over, you will have earned the right to ask for forgiveness. She left. The guard locked the door behind her. Marcus sat down heavily on his bunk, hands shaking. Vincent returned to his own bunk, lying back with his hands behind his head. You did the right thing, Vincent said. Marcus laughed, hollow and broken. The right thing. I am condemning my family to a target on their backs. You were already condemned, Vincent said. At least now you are fighting back. The day passed slowly. Marcus could not eat at lunch, could not focus on anything except the ticking clock. Evening came. The call for chapel services echoed through the cell block. Vincent stood and moved to the door, ready. Marcus nodded, though he was not. They walked together through the corridors, joining the stream of inmates heading to the small prison chapel. Inside, rows of metal chairs faced a simple altar. A handful of prisoners sat scattered throughout, some praying, some just escaping their cells for an hour. The chaplain stood at the front, a thin man with kind eyes. He nodded at Vincent as they entered. Marcus scanned the room. In the back row, partially hidden by a concrete pillar, sat a young woman. 17 years old, dark hair, her mother eyes, his daughter Emily. Marcus' heart stopped. Vincent touched his arm. 20 minutes, make them count. Marcus walked slowly to the back row and sat down next to Emily. For a moment, neither of them spoke. "Dad," she finally whispered. Her voice cracked. "Emily," Marcus said. He wanted to reach for her hand but did not dare. Not here, not where cameras might see. "I am so sorry." She turned to look at him, and he saw that she had been crying. "Mom said you were in danger, that bad people were after you. That is why you left." "It is more complicated than that," Marcus said. "But yes, I made mistakes, worked for the wrong people, and now I am trying to fix it." "By going to prison," Emily said. "That does not make sense." Marcus smiled sadly. "I know, but sometimes the only way out is through." He took a breath. "I need you to listen carefully. In the next few weeks, things are going to happen. You're going to hear things about me, terrible things, and most of them will be true." Emily's eyes widened. "Dad, but I need you to know that I am doing this to protect you and your mother," Marcus continued. "There is a man, a very dangerous man, and the only way to stop him is to tell the truth about what he has done and what I helped him do." "What did you help him do?" Emily asked, her voice small. "Things I will regret for the rest of my life," Marcus said. "Things that hurt innocent people. Things I told myself were necessary, but were just cowardice." He finally looked at her directly. "I was not a good man, Emily, but I am trying to become one, even if it is too late." A tear rolled down Emily's cheek. "Is it too late?" "I do not know," Marcus said honestly, "but I need you to be strong. Stay close to your mother. Trust the people who are protecting you, and know that everything I am doing now, I am doing because I love you more than my own life." Emily wiped her eyes. "There is a woman. Her name is Isabella. If anything happens to me, she will help you. Trust her." The chaplain voice rose in prayer at the front of the chapel. Their time was almost up. "Emily," Marcus said urgently, "do you understand?" She nodded, then did something that broke him. She reached out and squeezed his hand once, quick and hidden. "I love you, Dad. I love you too," Marcus whispered. Emily stood and walked away without looking back. Marcus watched her go, memorizing the way she moved, the shape of her shoulders, everything. Vincent appeared beside him. "She is strong, like her father." Marcus shook his head. "She is strong despite her father." They returned to their cell in silence, the door locked behind them. Marcus sat on his bunk, feeling hollowed out. Vincent gave him space, reading a worn paperback in the dim light. Hours passed. The prison settled into night, that particular darkness filled with distant sounds, coughs, snores, the occasional shout. Marcus finally spoke. "Thank you for arranging that." Vincent set down his book. "You will get more chances when this is over, if we survive." "When?" Vincent said firmly. "Not if. When?" Marcus wanted to believe him. He closed his eyes, trying to sleep, but sleep would not come, because somewhere in the prison, in a cell Marcus did not know about, a phone call was being made, and the person on the other end was telling Dante Mora that Marcus' Chen daughter had just visited him, that Isabella Romero had been seen entering protective custody, that Vincent Kade, the ghost Dante thought he had buried, was alive. The hunter had become the hunted. But neither Marcus nor Vincent knew it yet. They had a few more hours of peace, and then the war would truly begin. The alarm shattered the night, sharp, urgent, echoing through every cell block. Marcus jolted awake, his heart hammering. Vincent was already on his feet, pressed against the cell door, listening. "What is happening?" Marcus asked. Vincent held up a hand for silence. In the distance, shouted orders, running footsteps, the sound of metal doors slamming. Then the lights went out. Emergency lighting kicked in, bathing everything in red. "This is not a drill," Vincent said quietly. "Someone paid for a blackout." Marcus felt ice in his veins. "Dante." Vincent turned from the door. "He knows you are here. He knows we are together, and he just bought himself 30 minutes of chaos." "How do you know?" "Because it is exactly what I would do." Vincent moved quickly, reaching under his mattress. He pulled out a shank, crude but effective, wrapped in cloth. Marcus stared. "How did you?" "Been here 4 years, Marcus. You learn to be resourceful." Vincent tucked the weapon into his waistband. "Or you die." Footsteps approached their cell. Fast, purposeful. Not guards. Vincent positioned himself beside the door. Ready. Marcus pressed against the back wall, weaponless, useless. The cell door opened, not unlocked. Opened. Someone had override codes. 3 men entered, prison uniforms, but their movements were wrong. Too coordinated, too professional. These were not inmates, these were soldiers. The first one smiled. "Marcus Chen. Mr. Mora sends his regards." He pulled a shank from his sleeve, longer and sharper than Vincent. The other 2 spread out, boxing them in. Vincent moved first, fast, brutal, efficient. He grabbed the first man's wrist, twisted hard enough that bone cracked. The shank clattered to the floor. Vincent swept the man's legs and slammed his head into the metal bunk frame. 1 down. The second attacker lunged at Vincent. They grappled, crashing against the wall. The third turned to Marcus. "Nowhere to run accountant. Just you and me." Marcus backed up until he hit the toilet. The man advanced, shank raised. Marcus did the only thing he could think of. He grabbed the thin mattress and threw it. The man batted it aside, but it bought Marcus a second. He grabbed the metal sink, pulled himself up, and kicked. His foot connected with the man-jaw, not hard enough to stop him, but hard enough to stagger him. The man recovered and slashed. The blade cut across Marcus' forearm. Pain exploded, hot and immediate. Blood soaked his sleeve. The man raised the shank for a finishing blow. A hand caught his wrist from behind. Vincent, breathing hard, face spattered with blood, he twisted the attacker arm behind his back and drove his own shank up under the ribs. Once. Twice. The man dropped. Vincent turned to the third attacker, still grappling on the ground. He ended it quickly, efficiently, without hesitation. Then silence. 3 bodies. 2 men standing. Marcus clutched his bleeding arm. "Vincent, we have to go." Vincent finished. He was already at the door, looking down the corridor. More are coming. This was just the first wave. How many more? Dante did not send an army for subtlety. He sent it to make sure. Vincent grabbed one of the fallen men's uniforms and started stripping him. "What are you doing?" "Getting us out of here." "You think we can just walk out?" Vincent looked at him, and Marcus saw something in his eyes that had not been there before. "We are not walking out, Marcus. We are fighting out. And then we are going to do something Dante does not expect." "What?" "We are going to go straight to him. While he thinks we are trapped in here, we are going to hit him where he feels safe. Tonight, before he can regroup, before he can send more men, while he is still celebrating our deaths." Marcus stared at him. "That is insane." Vincent pulled on the stolen uniform. "Yes, which is why it will work." He tossed Marcus a shirt from another body. "Get dressed. We have about 10 minutes before the guards restore power and lockdown protocols kick in. We need to be in the maintenance tunnels by then. Marcus pressed his hand against his bleeding arm. I cannot fight Vincent. I'm not a killer. You were a killer, Marcus. You just used a pen instead of a knife. Vincent met his eyes. Tonight you decide who you really are. The man who hides and hopes someone else will save him, or the man who stands up and ends this. Distant shouts grew louder. Vincent moved to the door. Decide now. We leave in 60 seconds with or without you. Marcus looked at the bodies on the floor. Men sent to kill him. Men who would have killed his daughter next. His wife. Everyone he loved. He thought about Antonio Romero, about all the others, about Emily hand squeezing his. I love you, Dad. He stood up. Let us go. Vincent smiled grimly. Good. Stay close. Do exactly what I say. And Marcus, yes. If it comes down to it, if they corner us, do not let them take you alive. Dante will make it last days. Marcus swallowed hard and nodded. They slipped out of the cell into the chaos. The corridor was a nightmare of red light and shadows. Inmates were out of their cells, using the blackout for their own purposes. Fights, settling scores, pure mayhem. Vincent moved through it like a ghost, navigating by memory. Marcus followed, his arm throbbing with each step. They reached a maintenance door. Vincent pulled a key from his pocket. Where did you get that? Made friends with the right people. He opened the door. Steep stairs led down into darkness. They descended. Behind them, the sounds of the riot faded. Ahead, only the echo of their footsteps and the drip of water. At the bottom, a tunnel stretched into blackness. Vincent pulled a small flashlight from his pocket. Another impossibility. This leads under the prison yard to the old power station, Vincent explained as they walked. From there, we can access the storm drains. They connect to the city system about 2 miles out. Isabella will have a car waiting. You have this all planned. Had it planned for 6 months, Vincent said. Was going to use it next week. Dante just moved up our timeline. They walked in silence, water soaking their stolen shoes. Marcus' arm burned. He was leaving a trail of blood drops behind them. Vincent, Marcus said, I need to stop. Wrap this. Vincent turned, saw the blood. He pulled off his shirt and tore it into strips. Hold still. He wrapped Marcus' arm tightly, professionally. You learn first aid, too. Vincent did not answer. He finished the wrap and kept moving. They reached a junction, 3 tunnels branching off. Vincent paused, listening. Footsteps, behind them. Vincent killed the flashlight. They pressed against the wall in absolute darkness. The footsteps grew closer, more than one person. Then a voice. Kade. I know you're down here. Vincent tensed. Marcus felt it. That voice, cold, smooth, familiar. A flashlight beam swept across the tunnel entrance. Dante Morris stepped into view. He was not alone. 6 men flanked him, all armed, not with shanks, with guns, real guns smuggled in, proof of how deep his corruption ran. Vincent, Dante called out, his voice echoing, and Marcus, my old friends, together again. How poetic. No one moved. Dante smiled. I know you can hear me, so let me make you an offer. Vincent, you have impressed me, surviving this long, building a network right under my nose. That takes talent. Come work for me again. Let us forget the past. Marcus felt Vincent's entire body coil like a spring. Dante continued. As for you, Marcus, you were always smart, always useful. Give me the records. Tell me where they are, and I will let your family live. I will even let you die quick. Refuse, and Emily will learn what real suffering is. Marcus felt rage so pure it burned away the fear. He stepped forward before Vincent could stop him. You are a dead man, Dante. The smile on Dante's face widened. There you are. He raised his gun, but Vincent was faster. He threw something, a rock or a piece of concrete. It hit Dante's flashlight, shattering it. Darkness, then chaos. Vincent grabbed Marcus and ran, behind them. Gunfire. The sound was deafening in the enclosed space. Bullets ricocheted off concrete. They sprinted blindly, Vincent somehow navigating in the dark. A bullet grazed Marcus' shoulder. He stumbled, but Vincent caught him. Keep moving. More tunnels, more turns. The sound of pursuit never far behind. Then, ahead, a dim light. The storm drain exit. They burst out into the night air. Rain was falling, heavy and cold. A car sat 50 yards away, headlights off. Isabella, Vincent, and Marcus ran. Gunfire erupted behind them. The car engine roared to life. They dove into the back seat. Isabella hit the gas before the doors were even closed. Bullets shattered the rear window. She took a hard turn, tires screaming. Then they were on the main road, accelerating into traffic, disappearing into the city. In the back seat, Marcus and Vincent lay gasping. "You two look terrible," Isabella said, eyes on the road. Vincent sat up, checking Marcus' wounds. "We are alive. That is what matters." Isabella glanced in the mirror. "Dante just declared war. He will burn the city down looking for you." "Good," Vincent said. "Let him. While he is looking for us, we will hit every operation he has. Every stash house, every account, every ally. We tear his empire apart piece by piece." And then Marcus asked. Vincent looked at him, rain dripping from his hair, blood on his face, eyes burning with purpose. "Then we make him watch it all burn before we end him." The car raced through the rain toward an unknown destination. Behind them, sirens wailed. Ahead, war waited. But for the first time in 5 years, Marcus Chen was not running. He was fighting back. And the man who had destroyed so many lives was about to learn what it meant to face his past. The safe house was a warehouse in the industrial district, the kind of place that looked abandoned but had reinforced doors and security cameras hidden in rust. Isabella pulled into the bay. The door rolled shut behind them immediately. Marcus stumbled out of the car, his makeshift bandage soaked through. Vincent caught him before he collapsed. "Medical kit," Vincent barked. A figure emerged from the shadows, a man in his 50s, gray beard, steady hands. He took one look at Marcus and pointed to a chair. "Sit. This is going to hurt." The man's name was Gregor, former Army medic, now running a clinic for people who could not go to hospitals. He cut away Marcus' sleeve and examined the wounds. "Lucky. Nothing vital hit. But you need stitches." He worked quickly, cleaning, numbing, stitching. Marcus gritted his teeth through it. Vincent paced nearby, on the phone. "Yes, all of them. Tonight. Hit the warehouse on 9th, the betting parlor on Amsterdam, the dock operation. Burn it all." He listened. "I do not care about the money. This is not about profit. This is about sending a message." He hung up. Isabella was at a laptop, fingers flying across the keys. "I am moving the evidence to secure servers, multiple locations. Even if Dante finds one copy, he cannot stop this now." "How long until you can file?" Vincent asked. 72 hours. I need statements from Marcus first." She looked over. "If he survives that long, I will survive," Marcus said through gritted teeth. He had to, for Emily, for Antonio Romero, for everyone. Gregor finished the last stitch and wrapped clean bandages. Rest, fluids, antibiotics, and try not to get shot again this week. Vincent moved to a wall covered in maps, photographs, documents. Red strings connected faces to locations to dates. Years of investigation, all leading to one name in the center. Dante Mora. Marcus Vincent said. "I need everything, every account number, every property, every person on his payroll. We have 3 days to dismantle an empire. Where do we start?" Marcus stood, unsteady but determined. He walked to the wall and pointed to a photograph. "Here, Harold Vasquez, police captain. He has been on Dante payroll for 8 years, controls evidence rooms, tips off raids, makes witnesses disappear. He is the keystone. Take him down, and the whole law enforcement protection crumbles." "How do we get to him?" Isabella asked. Marcus smiled without humor. "I know where he keeps his insurance. Files on Dante, just in case his boss ever decides to tie up loose ends. Vasquez is paranoid, smart. He has been collecting evidence for years." "Where?" Vincent demanded. "A storage unit in Queens, Unit 247, combination lock. I know the code." Vincent turned to Isabella. "Can you get a warrant?" "Based on what?" "We cannot exactly explain how we know." "Then we do this the old way," Vincent said. He looked at Marcus. "You up for a field trip?" Marcus nodded. "Let us go get it." 2 hours later, they were outside a storage facility in Queens. 3 in the morning, rain still falling. The place was quiet, a single security guard in a booth watching television. Vincent studied the fence, too exposed. Cameras everywhere. "Marcus, can you talk us in?" Marcus approached the booth. The guard looked up, bored. "Help you?" Marcus pulled out a soaked business card, one of his old ones. "Harold Vasquez sent me. Unit 247. Emergency access." The guard frowned. Mr. Vasquez did not call ahead. Marcus leaned closer. "He could not. Call him if you want. Tell him Marcus Chen is standing here in the rain while his documents get wet. See how that goes for you." The guard hesitated. Then he picked up the phone. Marcus' heart hammered. If Vasquez answered, they were finished. The phone rang and rang. No answer. The guard hung up. "All right, sign here." Marcus signed a fake name. The guard buzzed them through. Vincent and Isabella joined him. They moved quickly through the rows of units. 247 was in the back corner. Marcus spun the combination lock. 3, 17, 9, 24. Click. The lock opened. Inside, boxes, files, hard drives. Years of corruption documented and organized. Vincent pulled out his phone and started photographing everything. Isabella loaded drives into her bag. Marcus found what he was looking for: a ledger, handwritten entries, names, dates, amounts, and at the back a list. Every person Dante had killed, every crime he had ordered, every politician he owned. Marcus' hands shook. This is it. This ends him. A sound outside. Footsteps. Multiple people. They froze. The door to the unit rolled open. Vasquez stood there, gun drawn. Behind him, 4 men, all armed. Behind them, watching with cold satisfaction, Dante Mora. "Hello, Marcus," Dante said. "Did you really think I did not know about Vasquez's insurance policy? Why do you think I let him keep it? It was bait, and you 3 just swallowed it whole." Vincent reached for his weapon. Dante men raised theirs faster. "I would not," Dante said. He stepped into the unit, looking at the boxes with amusement. "You went to a lot of trouble for nothing. This evidence. Even if it got out, who would believe it? I own the judges. I own the prosecutors. I own the system." Vincent spoke quietly. "You do not own everyone." Dante smiled. "No, but I own enough." He looked at Isabella. "Did you really think you could hide what you were doing? I have known for 2 years. Let you play lawyer. Let you think you were building a case, because it kept you busy, kept you from doing real damage." Isabella's face went white. "And you," Dante said to Vincent, "my old friend. You survived, built a network, impressed me, honestly. But you made one mistake." "What?" Vincent asked. You trusted Marcus Chen. Dante looked at Marcus, a man who has betrayed everyone he ever worked with, who watched people die to save himself, who abandoned his own family. You think he would not do the same to you? Marcus felt the words like a knife. Vincent, Dante laughed. Oh, this is rich. You actually started to trust him, after everything. Vincent did not respond. His face was stone. Dante pulled his gun. Here is how this ends. Vasquez takes these files, burns them, and you three disappear. No bodies, no evidence. Just 3 more people who ran from their debts. He aimed at Marcus. Any last words, accountant? Marcus met his eyes. Just one. Now. The lights went out. In the darkness, chaos, gunfire, shouting. Then silence. When the lights came back on, Dante was on the ground, unconscious. His men were down. Vasquez was handcuffed, and standing in the doorway were federal agents. Leading them was a woman Marcus recognized. FBI, someone Isabella had secretly been working with. Someone who had been recording everything Dante had just said. Isabella smiled coldly. You are right about one thing, Dante. I have been playing lawyer. But not for you, for them. She held up her phone, still recording. Every word, every confession, every threat. Dante's face went from shock to rage to despair in seconds. The agent stepped forward, reading his rights. Vincent looked at Marcus. You knew. Marcus nodded. Isabella told me yesterday. We needed him confident, needed him to confess, needed him here where he could not run. Vincent was silent for a long moment. Then he held out his hand. Marcus shook it. As Dante was dragged away, screaming threats, the rain finally stopped. Dawn broke over the city. 3 days later, Marcus sat in a federal courthouse, his arm in a proper sling, his daughter in the gallery, his wife beside her. He took the stand and told the truth, all of it, every name, every crime, every moment of cowardice and complicity. He said Antonio Romero name. He said all their names. When he finished, the courtroom was silent. The prosecutor thanked him. The judge called a recess. Outside, Vincent was waiting. The charges against him had been dropped, his record cleared, his name restored. You did it, Vincent said. We did it, Marcus corrected. Vincent nodded. Then he started to walk away. Vincent, Marcus called. The man turned. I know I cannot fix what I broke. I know I cannot give you back those years. But I am sorry, truly. Vincent studied him. Then he did something unexpected. He smiled, small but real. It is a start, Marcus. It is a start. He walked away into the morning light. Marcus turned to find Emily running toward him. She crashed into his arms. He held her tight, feeling her tears soak his shoulder. I am so proud of you, Dad, she whispered. For the first time in years, Marcus let himself cry, not from fear, not from guilt, but from relief. The war was over, the truth was out, and though he would face charges, though he would likely spend years in prison for his own crimes, he had done one thing right. He had stood up. He had fought back. He had spoken. 6 months later, Marcus sat in a medium-security prison. Not protective custody this time. General population, serving his sentence. But he was not alone. He had visitors. Emily every week, his wife, slowly learning to forgive. And once, Vincent. They sat across from each other in the visiting room. They did not talk much. Did not need to. 2 men who had walked through hell and come out the other side. When the visit ended, Vincent stood to leave. Marcus, he said. Yeah, thank you. For what? For reminding me that people can change. That it is never too late to do the right thing, even if it is hard, even if it costs everything. Vincent walked away, Marcus sat there watching him go. Then he returned to his cell. That night he slept without nightmares, because the ghosts that had haunted him had finally been laid to rest, not forgotten, never forgotten, but acknowledged, honored, and released. The old accountant had found something in prison he never had on the outside, peace, not from hiding, but from facing the truth. And in that truth, despite everything, he had found redemption. If you made it this far, thank you for listening to this story. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and tell me what country you are from. Your support means everything and keeps these stories coming. Until next time.